So, Lieb's question is, if you had to choreograph a fight scene, who would you choose? Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, or Steven Seagal?
Who would I want to do the fight scene with?
And choreograph it.
I think they're all great martial artists in their own right.
Right.
Got their own screen presence, but I think for me, Bruce Lee would be somebody, obviously he's not here any longer, and I think I sort of grew up loving his movies, and especially Game of Death and Enter the Dragon, and he had such a presence and was just such ahead of his time. I think Bruce Lee would be somebody that I would have loved to have worked with. Yeah. Not that I wouldn't like to work with Chuck Norris or Steven Seagal. In fact, my Sifu, Samuel Kwok, works with Steven Seagal quite regularly, I think.
Really?
Yeah, they've done some seminars together and some of the training. And obviously Chuck Norris is a legend, anyway.
Yeah, yes. So who would be your role model? Who has been your role model?
I think sort of growing up, I think there were more male sort of role models or idols. I think, so Bruce Lee, you know, obviously, but I think I really loved action movies. You know, Jackie Chan, even Arnold Schwarzenegger, even Stallone in like the Rocky movies and things like that. You know. But I think,
he always carried a message though, didn't he?
Yeah, it's different, and I'm just trying to think of who else was kind of like my favourites growing up, but definitely sort of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. But I think Cynthia Rothrock as a female kind of martial artist and icon is a legend, you know, herself. But I think at that sort of time when I was much younger, there weren't that many female sort of icons or role models to kind of look up to. And Michelle Yeoh, I think, was another one.
But you're saying now it's all changed, isn't it? And
I think there's much more, even if the female sort of action stars aren't martial artists themselves, you know, they still go through training, and even if they have stunt doubles, I think they portray different characters, and there's a lot more of those strong, empowering female roles now for girls and for young females and boys and guys to sort of look up to and
so you
admire.
must. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just thinking that you're talking about people that you looked up to. But obviously you've got your own training academy here, and I've watched you, just brilliant. So they must look up to you because of what you've achieved and the fact that you are so dedicated. Do you see any of your young students moving on? Can you spot when you think, you really do have a talent?
Yeah, I think as an instructor, it's a privilege to kind of come and teach the students here and the kids, and I think it's really rewarding for me personally to be able to do that. And I think it's quite easy to forget that you are a role model to these students, especially the younger ones, and you are an influence. And I think that's something that I always, you know, want to set a good example and be that role model myself, you know, and don't be sort of hypocritical and say one thing but then do something else, you know. And that's what I think my students see in me as their coach as well. And I think with working in, you know, film and that sort of industry, I think it inspires them to go, oh my god, my sensei's in this movie, and that's really cool to see. But we have a great bunch of students here. We've got a competition team here as well, and I think some people and some of the students here really want to get into that industry, into stunt work, into filming, into acting, into performance, into, you know, competing. And I think that opened a lot of doors for me. It allowed me to travel around the world to meet different people, and give me different opportunities. So if I can give them the same opportunity, and if they want that, then that's brilliant. And the parents are very supportive here of them as well. But then some people just come here because they want to, you know, just build their confidence, or they, you know, just want to be active, or you know, just work on their focus or make friends. There's absolutely lots and lots of different reasons why students train here, and why parents bring their children here. But we do have that opportunity for those students who are talented or want to go into that industry and see what that's like. We do have opportunities for them to do that as well.
So can I ask you, if I said to you, what now would be your dream job, what would it be?
So to continue working as an actor and a stunt performer. I guess I have lots of different kind of job roles and titles, so I guess it's not just a one. kind of thing. But I think with the work that I do, especially more, like I love teaching here at my academy and don't want to stop doing that. But I think with my online coaching and online teaching, it gives me a bit more flexibility and it gives me more time and allows me to travel. So I think that's the direction that I'm going in here as well.
And do you think that 7-year-old Zara would ever have imagined, I mean, if you could meet 7-year-old Zara and have a little chat with her about what was to come and all her worries because she was a little shy girl, what would you say to her?
I think even at 7, even being shy, even being nervous or timid or whatever, I think I found the passion for martial arts straight away. I was hooked straight away, and I think just maybe giving myself that self-belief that, look, this is the opportunity and this is what you can do. I think when I started martial arts, or when my dad got me into martial arts initially, it was just very much about, this is something that I love to do. It wasn't anything bigger than that. But then as I got older and started competing, it's like, this is amazing. Like, I get to go here, I can go here, I can travel. This is actually a viable career as well, as a coach, as an instructor, having my own martial art academy. And that's something that I always wanted to do. So maybe, at that young 7-year-old, just believing in you and actually here are the opportunities and possibilities later on down the line. But I think I was always very passionate about martial arts straight away. I loved it. I sort of, just didn't miss a lesson. I remember one time going on a family holiday and absolutely screamed and shouted at my parents because I was going to miss a lesson. And I mean, it was one lesson, but I just was just so passionate, I wanted to train. And I think during sort of my teen years, some outside sort of family members or acquaintances or friends didn't understand that passion and thought it was an obsession or maybe an unhealthy obsession, but I absolutely disagree. And I think the dedication that I put into my training and the passion, and that's what I wanted to do. Because I'm sure got me where I am today.
I would imagine that you gave up a lot of things even as a teenager because of the training, because of the discipline.
I don't feel like I gave up anything because
of the love of it.
Yeah, I mean, just because my friends want to go and have a party and drink, it doesn't mean that I'm missing out on anything there, because I'm actually in the dojo training because I've got a fight at the weekend.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't feel like I ever missed out on anything, which is something that I've heard through the years. Oh, but you sacrifice so much and
But look what you've got.
But actually, I don't think I sacrificed anything, because this is where I am today. And I think what I've always sort of put in myself is, if I don't put the time and the work in, then the only person I've got to blame is myself.
And sadly, you lost your nana not very long ago, and I'm sure that she's very proud of you. Is there anything that you've taken from your nana that you have put into your life?
Yeah, she was a very special lady. She was very much all about family, and she loved her family, and that's what she lived for. Yeah. And I think she was very proud, and I know that she was very proud of me and loved what I did here with my martial arts. And I mean, a lot of people, when I started martial arts in my family, were like, oh, this isn't for you, Zara. See how she gets on for a few weeks, but she's not going to stick at this. And then here we are, like 30 years later. But yeah, she was very proud of what I did, and she came to visit my academy. She came to different events that I put on, and competitions and things like that. And she just wanted me to be happy and do what I loved. So
she saw all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. She's very special, and I think going back to what you said, like right at the start when you came in, you're like, oh, everything's in its place, everything's very tidy.
I bet she loved that.
I think I got that from my nonna, because she was very much always cleaning, putting things away, and in her eulogy I sort of mentioned about all of my sisters have this kind of borderline OCD traits where we just things have to be a certain way, or a certain sort of cleanliness and tidiness, and I think I got that from my nonna here as well. So that sort of is shown in my academy, I guess, in some sense. But she loved that I'd found my passion and something that I love to do.
Well, we all in our DNA carry our nanas with us, don't we? They are part of this, and she loved the tidiness. And I mean, it is quite astonishing. It really is.
It's very, very clean.
She just had the white glove going round. I really appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy lady. I hope you've enjoyed our chat with Zara. I'm going to put some links underneath as well, so that you'll be able to see exactly what Zara's been up to and what's coming up for Zara. Thank you so much again.
I just want to say thank you for having this conversation, having the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and all the best for the channel.
Lovely, thank you. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Let's do something real simple
Yeah.
that you can do really, really quick.
Right.
And there's different ways to grab. If I just grab your wrist,
Right.
like this, imagine I'm just going to try and pull you just to grab me here.
Right.
Okay? We do this with our little dragons, like our 4 and 5 year olds. So it's really simple.
Right.
You're going to open your hand out, just like this, and we're going to pull against the thumb. So the thumb can't grip very well. So we always want to think about going with the thumb. So like we did with that choke,
Right.
we want to think about where that opening was, and that's where we want to turn our head. I want you to bend your elbow, and then open your hands, really big. And there you go. And then imagine pulling your thumb, like you're going to try and brush your hair,
Right.
and pull away from my thumb as you bring your hand up.
Oh, I
That's it.
see.
Yeah. So if you grab my wrist, so I'm going to open my hand, bend the elbow, because if you just pull here,
Right.
I'm going to be pulling away from this grip. If I
Right.
bend my elbow and pull up against the thumb,
Oh, it just
it's
releases.
going to release. Yeah, so I'll
Oh.
grab you. So if you open your hands, bend your elbow, and then turn your palm flat. So your little finger's down and your thumb is up. So think about where my thumb is.
Right.
And now pull your thumb away from my thumb straight up.
Yes,
Okay.
it does. It releases, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
One more time, if you grab my wrist. So open here. Now if you twist when you do it, now I'm pulling down to the fingers again. So you just want to think about where the thumb is, and then from there, you grab as strong as you can. Pull from the thumb.
And it just goes,
Yeah.
doesn't it? It just opens.
Open your hands, bend your elbow, pull from the thumb. Imagine you're taking a phone call or you're trying to brush your hair.
Yeah.
With self-defense, with anything like that, it's just what comes instinctively to you,
Yeah.
and also what you train as well. And if you practice something quite regular, it just becomes natural for you to do it. And if
Yeah.
you don't do that, and you know, a lot of people that I speak to are, oh, well, if this happened to me, I would do this. But if you don't train that and don't practice that, you
There's no
won't, because you know, when that kind of fear kicks in and you freeze and you're actually in a situation, it's completely different. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.